In this video, I will be dealing in detail about detailed strategy for essay. This is a very crucial paper. This paper can alone make or break. This can decide your entire fate and hard work in the civil services examination. This video will be especially helpful for the beginners who are just seeing some toppers copies and the videos of toppers where they are telling how I scored very good marks, but nobody is telling you what you need to do to score good marks. So I will be dealing in detail about each and everything that you need to know to score good marks in essay paper. First, we will start from what UPSC says about essay paper. The first thing UPSC says about essay paper is keep closely to the subject of the essay. What does it mean? It means while you are writing the essay, first of all, you need to understand clearly the entire topic. You cannot write essay on the peripheral nature or peripheral part of the essay. You have to hit the core. So the focus on topic is of utmost priority according to UPSC. I am giving you an example. The essay asked by UPSC in CSE 2020 was patriarchy is the least noticed yet the most significant structure of social inequality. This essay is not about just patriarchy. You have to understand the tone. Most of the students who had sociology optional as well, they were unable to score good marks in this essay paper. The reason being they had written the entire essay on patriarchy. The special demand of this essay is that why it goes unnoticed, why it is least noticed, why it is unmasked, and how it is the most significant structure of social inequality. You need to deal on these lines. If you are not discussing about these things, you will end up scoring very less marks in essay paper. The second thing which UPSC says is arrange ideas in an orderly fashion. What does it mean? That means while you are changing your paragraphs from one to another, there should be seamless transition. The transition between different paragraphs should not be abrupt. It should be natural. And when it will become natural, first of all, when you are structuring your essay appropriately. If it is not going in a haphazard manner that you are writing some abstract ideas here and there. Secondly, there are connectors which you can utilize. We are discussing them in detail in our summer essay guidance initiative. The third thing which UPSC is telling about essay paper is credit for effective and exact expression. Now, let's demystify this as well. Effective means you have to write clear sentences, and it should not be like you are writing anything and you are only understanding that. It should not be ambiguous. The sentences should be formed in an appropriate manner. And every paragraph should serve a purpose. You cannot write a paragraph just for filling the page. It should have the purpose. It should have some takeaways. Each paragraph should suffice something which is adding a value in your essay. Second is avoid using overly verbose or flowery language that is just bombarding a lots of keywords, that is just bombarding adjectives, while maintaining depth in content is essential. What is depth in content? If you're writing that patriarchy is a most significant structure of social inequality, you cannot just write it and change the paragraph. You have to show some examples, you have to showcase some data, you have to give some reference of some big personality through their quotations, etc. Otherwise, it's of no use. The third and important thing in essay paper, unlike general study, is avoid grammatical blunders here and spelling mistakes. These are noticed in essay paper. So this is what UPSC means from effective and exact expression. And this is what UPSC has said about essay paper. Beyond this, these are merely the extrapolations of the toppers who have themselves not seen their copies or the mentors. We haven't seen any copy checked by UPSC. Mistaken notion is we need to write like Shashi Tharoor or Vikram Grewal to get good marks. This is a mistaken notion. I had also scored 138 marks. My vocabulary or style of writing is not like Shashi Tharoor. The first thing is how to build a knowledge base for writing 1000 to 1200 words. That too with creativity. How to do that? It's not an easy task. So the first thing which is very, very important is your base. The most important base to write 1000, 1200 words is your general studies preparation, your general studies knowledge. If you're not able to write, say, for example, on health, 2 pages, how on earth you will write 1,000 to 1,200 pages? If someone says essay paper is entirely different, it has no interlinkage with general studies, they are telling you a lie. They're just trying to sell your courses. So your GS knowledge, the coverage of entire syllabus, it helps you immensely in writing reasoned and rational arguments. Otherwise, your arguments would not have reason. Secondly, the command on ethics paper helps in philosophical essay as well, and it helps immensely. You will see a correlation between ethics and essay marks. The people who have scored good marks in ethics, they generally don't score very bad marks in essay. They at least score average marks in essay paper. That's because they fare comparatively better than others in the philosophical essays. The second and the most challenging part is how to be creative. My background was not such to write flowery language, to write poems, quotations, anecdotal introductions, and the different tonal languages like paradoxical, etc. The first and foremost importance is of books. If you haven't read any books, then also I will advise you to at least read 3 4 books. It will help you in general in life as well. And you want to become a civil servant, you cannot say I don't like reading books. You will have to read a lots of documents and books while you will be serving the district, and if you are in any services, you will be reading a lots of books. Don't say I don't have time. You can give at least 30 minutes, 1 hour before you are going to bed. You all are spending a lot of time on social media, so everybody has time. That should not be the excuse. Some of the books which are extremely good. The one is The Sapiens, written by Harari. It's a very very good book. It will give you lots of fodder for the essay. It will also instill in you some creativity, because feeding a mind is very important. The second book which I liked a lot was Argumentative Indian by Dr. Amartya Sen. It's a very very good book. Other books I have listed in the group of Samartha mentorship program also, and I will put up in the channel as well that you can refer. The second is newspaper editorials. We all read newspaper editorials, but with a vision to just extract points for the general studies. We never study it like an essay, like how they are introducing a particular topic, how they're interlinking paragraphs, how they are using effective terms and terminologies, how they are utilizing data, how they are giving reasoned arguments. All of these are there in the editorials. Just see with the vision of essay. They are narrated in an effective and lucid manner. The third thing is Yojana and Kurukshetra. Specifically for the non-philosophical essay, it helps a lot. It has covered in great depth the health, education, science, and technology, etc. So it helps. You can read 2 3 articles in a week. It will help you immensely. For philosophical essay, there is a blog which I used to read, and many other toppers also used to read, is Speaking Tree blog of Times of India. It has some of the good philosophical articles, and Motivated Thinker channel, which I am where I am writing a lots of articles which will help you immensely in philosophical essay. Other than that, there is toppers copy. Students think that this is the beginning and the end of the essay preparation. This is a mistaken notion, because anybody who has scored 130, 140 marks cannot feed your mind to score 140 marks. They have read a lot of things to score 130, 140. Their limited amount of information cannot help you to score 130, 140 marks. A good student in essay paper cannot be taken as a source of reading a particular subject. You cannot read ethics from any topper's ethics copy. You have to read the book. So it's a very mistaken, an extremely mistaken notion, peddled by the Telegram channels, because they are also clueless about how to prepare for the essay paper. The third thing which I used to do, and many of the toppers used to do, is theme wise we can prepare content by analyzing PYQ. By analyzing PYQ, we can see, yeah, these are types of themes which are asked by UPSC. Like they're asking social issue based, specifically women oriented essays. They are asking essays on health education. They're asking essays on the pertinent problems that society is facing. All of these are being asked. So we can have a beforehand preparation of good introduction, some creative subheadings, some of the examples, quotes, data, and a good conclusion prepared beforehand. This can help us if we are not that good in instant creativity. Doing this for philosophical essays is also possible, because philosophical essays are mostly oriented towards societal changes in present times. So what is happening in the present times? In it can be in economic, it can be in social, it can be humanistic spheres, and important human values that are changing in the present time. So there's quotes on ethics and examples also help a lot in this context. I was telling you that preparation or command in ethics helps a lot in philosophical essay. There's a great interlinkage. You can use toppers copy, content posted by us, and the sessions we will take in summer mentorship initiative. We will also use PYQ themes to help you understand how to prepare them beforehand in our mentorship initiative. First thing which is very, very difficult is introduction of essay. The toughest part of an essay is this, setting the tone for the entire 1000 to 1200 words of write-up and captivating the examiner. Yes, I am the one you need to give me very good marks. Yes, the first impression matters, even though it may not be the last impression, but yes, first impression matters. There are types of introduction. I see people just writing anecdotal starts. That's not the only type of essay introduction. Everybody is writing once upon a time, Ram awaken, Priya awaken, and some of the stories and the anecdotes that they are writing of historical anecdotes like World War II, etc. Thousands of people are writing same anecdote. It will not create even an ounce of impact, and you will end up scoring marks in 80s and 90s. Not more than that you will score. So you need to first understand the nuances of introduction of essay. It can start with a paradoxical data, a data which showcases that in one sphere something is positive, in another sphere there is negative growth. I will explain these through an essay. Just stay tuned with me. The second is raising questions. You need to raise questions in introduction, the pertinent question with respect to the topic, the burning questions that will again captivate the examiner to read your whole write-up of 1000 and 1200 words with interest. The third thing is, the third way is you can write a quote, you can write a poem, you can write a sloka, and then introduce the essay. The fourth way, which you all do these days, is anecdotal start, writing a short story. And the fifth, if you don't know anything, you don't have any creativity left, that is the definitional way. That is defining the topics, the various keywords of the topic. That is of least priority. Let's learn it through an example. The essay topic, the same essay topic, patriarchy is the least noticed, yet the most significant structure of social inequality. I am writing an introduction using paradoxical data. So, while Indian women are breaking barriers, reaching space, winning Olympic gold medals, and becoming successful entrepreneurs, another harsh reality persists. Every 16 minutes, a woman in India becomes a victim of rape. And yet, instead of standing in solidarity with them, society shifts the blame, questioning their addresses, their character, or the time they choose to step out of their homes. This paradoxical reality exposes the deep rooted hypocrisy and gender bias that continues to stifle women's progress. While they shatter glass ceilings, they are still treated as the ones responsible for their own suffering, merely for existing in a world that claims to be modern. Here I am pointing out that that on one hand they are having accomplishment in various spheres. On another instances, they are not safe. Even at home, most of the crime against women, the perpetrators are family members. So this paradoxical data in this essay will surely captivate the checker. Second style could be raising questions. Why it is that despite centuries of progress, women still earn less than men for the same work? Why does the responsibility of household chores, child rearing, and caregiving overwhelmingly falls on women, even in modern societies? Why are women, despite their achievements, still subjected to violence and discrimination? These questions point to a deeper issue, patriarchy. It is the least noticed yet perhaps the most significant and pervasive structure of social inequality. While it often remains hidden behind the veneer of social norms and traditions, patriarchy quietly dictates the distribution of power, opportunities, and rights, reinforcing gender based disparities in every corner of society. How long can we ignore its invisible yet formidable grip on our social structures? Through this, I am raising pertinent questions, and these questions will make him or her interested to read my essay with interest. There can be some quote, there can be sloka, there can be poem. I had shared a very good sloka of Manusmriti in Ethics channel that can be used, or a powerful poem which I am sharing. A woman's worth, they say, is to bear. Her dreams are crushed in the weight of despair. Her voice is lost, her rights ignored. Yet in silence, she continues to endure. Patriarchy reigns unseen but near, in every glance, in every sneer. But in her heart, a fire does burn for change, for justice, for a world to turn. This is a poem I had written in my essay, and it helped me to score good marks. So this essay is connected to the topic of the essay. If you have crammed any poem, you cannot just write it if it is not connected to the topic of essay. You have to be very mindful about it. This poem encapsulates the paradox of patriarchy, invisible yet deeply ingrained. It suppresses the potential of half the population while holding society back from true equality. As the most significant yet an unnoticed structure of social inequality, patriarchy continues to shape the experiences of women worldwide, stifling their voices and opportunities. Anecdotal, the one which you all write. In a small village in rural India, a young girl named Priya dreams of becoming a doctor. Every evening after school, she helps her mother with household chores while her brother prepares for his future career. Encouraged by the family and society alike, Priya's dreams, though are often dismissed as unrealistic, her family believes that her primary role is to care for the home and that her brother's education is of greater importance. Years later, Priya, despite her intelligence and determination, finds herself working as a teacher, unable to pursue her dreams due to financial constraints and societal pressure. Meanwhile, her brother becomes a doctor just as expected. This story, though anecdotal, reflects a much larger and deeply rooted issue, the invisible yet all pervasive structure of patriarchy. It is a force that limits opportunities for women, dictating their roles in the family, the workplace, and society. Patriarchy is often so ingrained that it goes unnoticed, even by those who are affected by it, yet it remains the most significant form of social inequality in many parts of the world, especially India. Now we will learn how to write the body of essay. You have to loosely write 8 to 9 paragraphs with 60-70 words each. The types can be problem and solution approach. It is apt for social issue, but social issue based essays because each social issue is a problem. And then you will be giving the solution. The second is speech based. If you have heard any speech during your school time, your college time, or in YouTube, you will see that the one who gives speech, they include 6, 7 questions that they address in the entire speech about that particular topic. The third style is temporal, that is discussing about the topic's past, the present, and the future. It's also called as historical way to write an essay. The fourth type is life cycle, that is you chose an imaginary figure analyzing essay through different stages of his or her life. And the last one is pestle, that is of least priority, that is political, economical, social, technological, legal, you know, ethical. This is a least priority. You can generate examples through it, but writing whole essay through this approach will not give you good marks. Let's give an example. The first is problem solution method. So let's see in the same essay how patriarchy is biggest form of social inequality yet unnoticed. So the problem is how patriarchy perpetuates social inequality. We'll talk about various things, social and cultural norms, unequal division of labor in households, and the various aspects of patriarchy. The economic disparities, you will talk about the political and legal inequality, the violence against women. You will talk about all of these things. Then you will talk about the consequence or the effect of patriarchy, the impact on women's mental and physical health, and the wider social implication, not only on women, on the overall societal structure. And then you will give the solutions addressing patriarchy through education, through empowerment and representation, through legal reforms, through men as allies, not as enemy, not creating polar identities. It can be speech based. The example is, what is patriarchy? The first question. And how does it function as the least noticed yet most significant structure of social inequality? The first question in this speech. The second is, how does patriarchy manifest in different spheres of society, such as home, workplace, and legal system? Third question is, what are the psychological, social, and economic consequences of patriarchy for both women and society as a whole? The fourth question in speech will be, why does patriarchy contribute to violence against women? And what is the cultural and societal mindset that allows such violence to continue? The fifth question is, what role does education and awareness can play in challenging and dismantling patriarchal norms? The next question will be, how can policies and legal reforms help address gender inequality and empower women in patriarchal societies? And the last question will be, what role can men play in dismantling patriarchy? And why is their involvement essential in achieving gender equality? Why men needs to come forward? Temporal is simple, fairly simple. You will talk about patriarchy in past, present, and the future. Okay? The another approach is life cycle approach. You can take an imaginary figure like Priya, and then you can talk about her childhood, the foundation of patriarchy, how in early socialization, how it impacted her education. You know, all of these you can talk about. You can also talk about the Priya's adolescence, where the influence of patriarchy even increased. The pressure to conform to beauty standards increases here. She is often told how to dress, how to behave, and how to speak. And Priya's adolescence is also marked by the expectations from the society, from the family, from the relationship. She faces societal pressure to find a suitable partner as soon as possible. Then you can talk about Priya's adulthood. I'm giving a subheading because writing a subheading creates a good impact, provided you are familiar with it, provided it is not breaking the flow of an essay. Then you can talk about how it impacted her career challenges, her marriage, her motherhood, and how she faced gender-based violence and victimization. Then in old age, how patriarchy is diminishing her voices, her worth, how she has been marginalized, how she has to handle economic insecurity often. Then the burden of patriarchy, the lifelong struggle, the mental and emotional toil, the fighting and the energy that she had to spend to fight patriarchy at various stages. Then you can conclude. In conclusion, you need to keep these things in mind. The first is to restate the argument, the main argument of the essay. Again, you will restate, which is given in the essay topic. You will summarize whatever you have said briefly. And from education to violence, patriarchy operates as a silent but powerful force. Then you will give some solution. You will propose some solution like empowerment, education, and systemic changes are key to dismantling patriarchy. And then you will end with a call to action, some positivity. Are we willing to confront the structure that have long governed our society? Such kinds of provoking lines. One of the beautiful quote which I had written was, "We cannot all succeed when half of us are held back," given by Malala Yousafzai, Nobel laureate. Okay. Some key points that you need to keep in mind if you want to score good marks in essays: balanced approach in essay. No matter how gloomy the topic is, you must have to highlight the positive side and avoid taking one side too strongly or showing too much of bias. If you are a girl, that's good, but you should not show lots of biasness in favor of women while writing any essay related to women. You have to be balanced. Second is reasoned opinion. Use diverse example, anecdotes, data, slopes, quotes to substantiate your opinion. Without it, you will not get good marks. Third is avoid grammatical mistakes. Read more, feed your mind. There is no magic wand. We can show you the way. But if you think you are weak in this paper, work harder as we are showing you the path. Smooth transition and creativity in the essay is very important. Ensure smooth transition between ideas and bring creativity to your writing. These all will help you to score good marks. Lastly, I want to say, remember, a good essay is not written through overthinking or by hoping for a magic wand to come. It's crafted by feeding your mind with knowledge, analyzing previous year questions, and embracing the process. Don't be afraid to write a few imperfect and bad essays. They are stepping stones that pave the way for your best work. I hope this will give you a clarity. Thank you very much. Take care. Best wishes.